Hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the return of the Islam podcast. I'm your host, Arif Khan, and with me I have our good friend Imad Hussein. Imad, assalamu alaikum.
Well, Salam, how are you?
Good. Eid Mubarak to you.
You Mubarak, I say it's been a while since I've seen you, but I saw you yesterday, so it hasn't been that long.
But I think all our friends and fans and audience, we haven't seen a lot of them, so it's definitely good to be back and getting ready for our big season. What debut? Not debut, but restart. I guess we should say.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing everyone and kind of just being back. It's been 6 weeks since we played, believe it or not. This Friday is going to be 6 weeks. So, um, you know, we can just pray that everyone's been trying to stay in some sort of shape or at least stretching at the very least.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be an interesting Friday night for sure.
No, for sure. No, I'm looking forward to it. I know the first week it's going to be a little tough with everyone, like Mr. Chiamber is saying about samosas and whatnot. All the samosas we've probably eaten. But yeah, it's high time that we get back to this. So,
Yeah, and
so
I just
to
want to call out that everyone on the podcast here, well, most people, myself, and then our viewers are making a little bit of a sacrifice watching the podcast over the Leafs game right now. So there's a bit of a comeback going on right now. We'll see what
yeah,
happens.
Leafs come back, coming back, inshallah. I don't know. Ramadan is gone, man. You should have prayed during that time. Anyways, let's get to it. Honestly, Ahmad, I don't even remember what happened to the league last time we played. So this is going to be fun trying to recap what happened 6 weeks ago. But today, I don't think we're going to really be recapping per se. It's going to be more of just looking forward to what happened or what's happening this week.
Yeah, the one recap we probably do want to do is just Adil Patel, or sorry, the One World Hall or One World Foods Player of the Week, Adil Patel. He had another stellar performance right before the break. He came in game changer, in on 3 of the 4 goals against Subur. So this guy is just he's been dominant this season in the games he's played, and it really shows in the record that Rida has.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that his team even did pretty well without him, but you can't replace a guy like Adil, right? He's such an impact player.
For sure.
All right. So, with that said, okay, once again, congratulations, Adil, the One World Halal Food Player of the Week. All right, let's right to it here. This week we have, as usual, 4 games. So we have first game Yakin versus Ikhlas, and again, my apologies. I honestly do not remember what the standings are right now, so you're gonna have to help me out a little bit.
We'll get back to the standings later on, but I mean, if we can talk a little bit about the two teams playing here,
Sure.
you have Yakin, who has kind of had an uneven path towards Ramadan,
Yeah.
towards that latter half of the season, and I think they're just going to be looking for a little bit of stability in the last 2 weeks, getting into the playoffs. And I mean, obviously they haven't qualified for the playoffs, but they'd want to be there. I understand that there may be some external circumstances there which may uh, affect that outcome or the intended outcome. And then you have a class who they've had attendance issues for a lot of their key guys, injuries, and also personal reasons. So guys like RC, Tayyab haven't been able to be out every single game. I think even maybe Sherry.
Hmm.
So, everyone matters, of course, but when you have like your GMs and some of your key guys who are supposed to carry the team not available or maybe not performing the same way they have been or they're expected to, um, you know, RC like one of those guys. I know he's injured, but he's nowhere near where he was last season.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to come out. So I think for I'm trying to remember which division this is. This is the Makkah division.
Yeah.
The two bottom teams in the Makkah division fighting it out really to figure out where they end up in the standings. So this game is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, it's a big game, but you know what? I think the Ramadan break probably helps a team like Ikhlas because of guys like RC gives them 6 weeks to recover as long as he didn't do anything else to hurt himself or re-aggravated his injuries. That's a big plus. On Yakin's side, on my team side, we've had a very up and down season, right? I mean, some games were like world beaters, and some other games we just get knocked the crap out of us, right? So I don't know how we're going to be after Ramadan, right? Coming back, I think it's going to be the same for everyone, which is one, attendance, and two, just what kind of shape everyone's in. So it's going to be a good litmus test as the first game.
For sure.
Yep. Um, oops, sorry,
Second game.
one. So next one is Iman versus Subur.
Yeah, so just like the first game, these are the bottom two teams in the Medina division. They're tied in points, and they both had a lot of issues through the season. A lot of those are related to attendance, and I know we talk a lot about that a lot, but this is the fact of it is that when guys aren't available and you have a short bench, it's very difficult to perform, and whether that's injury related or personal reasons or travel, it's an issue. So these two teams did, I believe, right before the season, before the trade deadline, had a couple trades go through. Um, Josefa is going to try and get his team back together again so that there's some guys who are coming back from injury. So Junaid, I think, is one of them. Inshallah, he'll be back. I heard at least
Mhm.
before Ramadan, he's intended to come back by now. And I can't quite remember. There was another gentleman who is also supposed to be coming back from injury. So they're hopeful that they have the guys back and they can turn their season around and qualify for the playoffs. Whereas Iman, again, they had some attendance issues as well. And you have guys
Yeah.
like Ali Wadi and Abdullah Patel who have really contributed a lot to the season, and they really want to be able to drive that.
Right. With Subur, that team they had, it's a completely different roster than what was originally drafted, pretty much, right? There's
Yeah,
so many changes, other than maybe one or two key guys. It's a brand new team, and I kudos to Husley for making changes to improve his team. But they really didn't get a chance to see that new team in action. I think what, one game or so, and you can't possibly expect that one game to really show how good the chemistry is and whatnot. So again, um, maybe it's not a bad thing that there was a break, because now everyone almost resets a little bit of their chemistry, right? So it might, the break again might actually have helped Subber, like it probably will have helped the class.
yeah, I think those is probably you're right, 100%. Those two teams probably will benefit most from the break, given what we knew going into the break. But we'll have to see how that all plays out.
Yep. Third game of the night will be Haya versus Rida. Rida is obviously a very high flying team. I think they lost to you guys last time they played, right? Against Isan, but
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, sorry.
Yeah.
But other than that, they've been like solid team, top to bottom, and with Adil Patel being back and whatnot, it just makes it such a strong team. So what does Haya have to do to keep pace, I guess, with the Rida?
I think one of the things too is for Haya is I keep saying this, and I know some guys hate it when I say this, but like Luke and Salman Khalid have not been there consistently, and I think that they both missed a couple of games leading into the break. And when
Yeah.
both your GMs are not there, it's very difficult. You already put your team behind the eight ball starting out. So regardless of that, I think they just need to play a very strong game. I believe they had a pretty strong game 2 weeks before the break.
Hmm.
They're coming off two straight wins, which is great for them, even though they've had those GMs missing. It's just going to be continued pressure, and they have to play a very strong game on the ball and keep the ball out of their zone. And that's going to be key. The X factor, of course, is Adil Patel. We know that, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's just not letting him sneak in and get those rushes from the point.
No, for sure. With Haya, we always talk about Haya hustle. I'm not sure if that persona still applies to them, all right? Because it's
No.
it's it's really not the same Haya hustle type of a team that we've seen in the past seasons. So I'm wondering if they're trying to play to a reputation that doesn't befit their actual team.
Maybe they've also have a lot of guys who haven't necessarily played that style in a while,
Yeah.
and then you have some guys who have played that style that just haven't been as effective as they have been in past seasons.
Hmm.
Mohamed
Hmm.
Hamoudi is one of those guys. He had a slow start to the season, a couple of good games here and there, but he hasn't been able to perform at the same level at the level where he was drafted at. Let's say.
Yeah.
So and that's normal. I mean, guys have up and down seasons, so no slight against him, but. That definitely has an impact on things.
But I think in watching Haya, the games where I've seen them really play well, it's been when they've been fiery and feisty and very tenacious. that I think that's really their personality, if you will. I think if they bring that fieriness out, they can give Rida a good run for their money.
Yeah, for sure. They just have to be relentless
Yeah,
in the game, and that's going to be their key to success.
yeah, yeah. Otherwise, they're gonna get crushed like the Leafs against Tampa Bay right now.
5-3. I wouldn't say that's crushed. Come on.
Anyways, I'm just throwing salt here. Last game of the evening is Isan versus Taqwa, and this is your team versus Mr. Kazi's team.
Yeah, you know what? It's so weird. Like the break has been so long. So in our group earlier this week, I think even on Eid we started the attendance list. So guys were so looking forward to coming back. And someone updated the schedule and says we're playing Taqwa. And I hadn't looked at any of the games actually. And I was like, oh, we're playing Taqwa. And I'm trying to put in my head, it's okay. I know Taqwa's the black team, and I just couldn't picture who was on that team. It's been that long. And no slight against the
I
guys
know.
on Taqwa. It's just that, yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be a good game. I think we're the top two teams in the division
Hmm.
fighting for that first place spot. This game very well could decide who ends up in first place and gets the bye in the first round of the playoffs. Um, Isan has been coming in hot. They had a mediocre start to the season with a bunch of ties and a loss in there, but they've come off with some big wins over some big teams. So they're going to want to hope to continue that as they go into the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Whereas Taqwa, they've had a little bit of up and down as well. They were seen to be the strongest team in the division to start the season, and then they've struggled a bit here back and forth.
Hmm.
So I think for them, it's really just to change that perception of them and really change the narrative around their game
Yeah,
and prep for the playoffs.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And I think you guys have played really well. Especially, that game against Rida you had several weeks ago, or a month ago or so. That was just a fun game to watch, and it almost felt like a playoff game. If you guys can keep up that pace against Taqwa tomorrow or on Friday, I think you guys might have the edge here.
Yeah, you know what? I think what it comes down to is just chemistry and the brotherhood of the team. I played in the league for many seasons, and I've never seen such a close team. And it's not
Hmm.
like these guys all know each other from before or anything like that. A lot of us are playing on the same team for the first time, and it's just that the team has just come together so well. We met up for iftar one night in Ramadan and went out for dinner. So it's a tight knit group,
Yeah.
and we believe in each other, we trust each other, and it's just a matter of everyone knows their role. We go out there and you do it. And I think as the season has gone on, we've been able to build on that and get to a point where now we're able to win some games. And
Hmm.
I think that's the key to success. Of course, when you have guys who are going to be missing some games now here and there for personal reasons, that will have an impact for sure, like it does
Yeah.
on any team. But no excuse. I mean, the guys are ready. They want to play, and it's exciting.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. All right. Hey, I see Mr. Hamza Abdullahi. Hey, Hamza. I like that thing you had on Instagram with a Pixel 6, I think, poster. We got a model amongst our audience here.
Yeah, we will
Good
have
job with
to
that.
recruit him for some purposes.
All right. So, you want to take this one? Where do all the teams stand now?
Yeah, maybe you could just flip over to the next slide. I think
Sure.
it'd help just to talk about the standings going to the last 2 weeks of the season. Um, so we talked about the Medina division a little bit, and we talked a little bit about the standings as we went through uh, the previews for the season, previews for this week. So you have Rida at the top. They've clinched a playoff spot already. Not necessarily first place in the division, and we'll get to why that's important in a couple minutes. But then you have Haya hot on their tail, and I think it's safe to assume that Haya has locked down a spot as well. I mean, all they need is 1 point in 2 games, either by them winning or Iman or Subur losing a point. So um, those two teams are locked, and it's really a fight between Iman and Subur to finish off get
Yeah.
that last spot. If I just look at the schedule, uh, so yeah, Iman and Subur played this week each other, so that could
Hmm.
very well decide who that third and final team is, and we could know who the playoff standings are for this division by this night, by this week actually.
Right. Makes sense. What about the Mecca division?
Oh, Mucka division. This is much tighter. All teams are still in it. So Ikhlas could even jump up and leapfrog into first or second place. Um, Yeah, every game is going to be both games in the final at the end of the season are going to be important. Isan and Taqwa, as I mentioned, fight for first place. It'll probably come down to those two teams, most likely, although Jakeem definitely has an outside chance. RF, I
Yeah.
don't know what you have to say about that. But really, they need to get some consistency to be able to move forward and grab that bye in the first round.
Apparently, there's rumors that one of the teams in this division, they're going to be hit really hard with attendance issues to the point that the last couple of games, and even if they make the playoffs deep, they're going to miss some key players. So it doesn't matter where you are in the standings, anything can happen if those rumors come true.
Yes, definitely. I mean, especially in this division, the teams are
Yeah.
so. I mean, it's 4 points between first and last place. Anything can happen.
And you know what's also interesting is if you look at the goal scoring, goals for, they're all very similar, apart from Miklas, which is a little bit down. But look at the other three, 21,
Mm-hmm.
20, and 23. Right there, their scoring ability is very, very similar. What it comes down to really is how well, I guess, they defend, and that's very clear here with your team giving up the least amount of goals.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that goes to Mohamed Mogla. He's had an unbelievable season. I can't count the number of acrobatic saves he makes, and I don't know if that's by design and he does those on purpose to make it look more difficult than it really is. But I mean, we're wowing on the bench, and he's really kept us in that game. And like I said, it goes back to everyone on the team knowing what their role is and carrying out their role. And yeah, it's just a full team effort all around.
Yeah,
Um, we,
he's
we,
the Hashik of Islam.
yeah, exactly. And
No,
like
he
Taqwa,
doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. Right? We're always talking about a lot of the other, I want to say, marquee names, household names, if you will. He doesn't get enough recognition, and it's great to see him, doing so well on your team.
yeah, so totally agree. And he's a smaller goalie. He's stand-up style, which isn't as common. So I think that creates some perception sometimes. But yeah, he's definitely proven every like a lot of people wrong with his ability this season. Um, if you look at Taqwa within the division, they're 2-0-2, so fairly strong, and they have games against us this week, Isan, and then
Yeah.
they play Jakeem in the last week of the season. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's anyone's take for the
Yeah.
first place.
So speaking of goalies, I got to give a little shout out here as well. I want to shout out my man here, Mr. Imran Alvi. Imran, Eid Mubarak to you, bro. I know you sent me a message. I just didn't get a chance to respond back, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to shout you out on the podcast. So, Jazakallah for the message. It's a very, very endearing message. Thank you so much. So, Eid Mubarak to you and your family, and of course to all the other viewers as well, but specifically my boy, Mr. Alvi there.
Hey, wait, you got a voice message from him?
Yes.
I
See,
thought he only sent it to
other
me.
people
I
just
thought he only
send
sent it to me.
other people just send text messages, or they'll send those prepackaged Eid Mubarak posters. But he took the time to actually have a personalized message, and I appreciate that. So I wanted to one up him and do it on the podcast here directly. So appreciate you, bro.
No, he's a great brother.
All right, let's see what we got next.
All right,
League
a couple quick
announcements.
announcements here. So spectators, of course, as you know, they're welcome to the arena. So if you're interested in watching the games and stuff, stick around. If you want to bring a guest or two, welcome as well. The games are going to be tight the next 2 weeks to figure out standings. So I'm sure they'll be really exciting. Related to that, if you're watching games and you take some pictures of the games, or maybe get some cool clips of maybe a goal or a sick move or a save or something like that, share it with us. You can post it on social media and tag us, or send it to us in a DM, and we'll definitely be sure to share it on our channels, and we'll tag you as well if you want. If you don't want, if you want to remain anonymous, that's fine too. But it really, we've had a few people submit some content, and it's been great. We can't always be around to capture everything, so it helps. We will be talking a little bit about the winter schedule and also the upcoming summer season. So maybe if you want to flip over to the next slide.
Summer season already, eh? We haven't even finished this one, and we're already
It's coming up
gearing up
soon,
for the
man.
next one.
It's coming up soon. So because there's some peculiarities with with the end of this season now, just because of how we were delayed with the start and Ramadan in between and everything. We just wanted to clarify with everyone on what's happening for the rest of the season. So this week and next week are going to be week 9 and 10 and close out the regular season. Then on May 20th, what's going to happen is that's our first night of the playoffs. And the way it's going to work is the first place team in each division is going to get a bye to the semifinals, and teams 2 and 3 will play a best of 2 wildcard game. So the way it works is you need to, since it's a best of 2, you basically need 3 points to be able to advance minimum. So you win one game, and the second game you tie or win. If each team wins one game apiece, the second game goes into a 5-minute golden goal overtime, winner take all. And if that still ends in a tie, then it goes into a shootout. I believe it's 3 shooters, but don't quote me on that. So that will then determine the final 4 teams. May 27th, there are no games at the hangar. The facility is not available, so there will be a 2-week break between the wildcard games and then the semifinals. So what's important to note is the first place team that gets a bye in the first round for the wildcards actually won't play any games for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Or 2 weeks, I guess. My math's off. So 3 weeks. They play May 13th, and they won't play again until June 3rd.
Yeah, 20th, 27th, and then they'll play 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So if you're thinking, we want to finish in first place, there's a downside to that too. You might be a little bit rusty. You might be able to conserve some energy and be ready to go for the semis. So something to think about as well as we play out the final couple of weeks.
So one question people are probably going to ask, when we do the Friday, May 20th, right? There's only actually, you know what? I was going to say that there's not enough games. So is there going to be like some space for pickup hockey? But it doesn't look like it, right? It's a full venue or full agenda for that night.
Yeah. So both the teams they're going to be 2 of each matchup.
Right,
so you basically play at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, or 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So you'll have like an hour break in between. Okay. And then, of course, the same goes. So June 3rd semis, there's the best of 2 series again in both matchups. So each matchup will have 2 games. And the same thing on June 10th, where the winners will play each other. The division winners will play in the finals, best of 2 series. Only 2 games that night. Since we do have some time, we might think about some pickup or something. But we'll try and figure that out depending on logistics. And of course, communicate that out if it is an option for everyone.
Yep, makes sense.
So if anyone has any questions about this, GMs, you have the GM chat where you can ask questions. You can message us on socials, but we will be posting something on socials just to kind of outline this so everyone has that as a reference.
Makes sense. Look at this fire poster we got here.
Jeez, whoever made this was it's pretty talented. It gets the point across though. So the summer season is coming. We're planning to launch or start it on June 24th. So just going back to the previous slide, this finals end on June 10th. There's going to be a week break, and then that'll allow us to get the draft done, the prep, all that kind of stuff, jerseys in hand, and then we'll be ready to launch the season on June 24th. It's an 8-game season plus playoffs, so it's a little bit shorter just because of the compression that we've had with the lockdown earlier this year, and we want to be able to complete the winter season before Christmas, so that we can start fresh in 2023 in January.
Good stuff.
So
I was just going to say to Muhammad Qazi, bro, you always say that we don't have enough pictures of you, so we put the league's underrated superstar as the poster child, literally.
Yeah. So registration, this poster just says the registration is open, but it's actually going to be open on Friday. So just stay tuned to socials for a link to that, and all the information, of course, will be posted there as well. If you have any questions, should all be there, and you can always message us to ask us any questions. The summer season is a smaller season, so we usually have about 4 teams. So if anyone is interested in playing, sign up sooner rather than later, because the spots go away pretty quickly. And same thing goes for goalies. If you're a goalie, you're interested, sign up ASAP once the registration opens. Yeah,
people are saying that a lot of teams and a lot of players actually want to join as a tune-up for Salam Cup or any other tournaments that might be happening in the summers, sure, if that's what makes you join, that's fine. But generally in summer, there's not a lot of hockey leagues going on. So yeah, if you want to play, this one is going to fill up pretty quickly.
Yeah. And then just for everyone who is interested in kind of understanding what that season looks like, we have a rough outline on what that looks like on the next slide. RF, I want to flip over. There we go. So registration opens on this Friday, as I mentioned. We start week one games on June 24th. Now, there are a few things that we have to account for during the season because it is in the summer. The dates are kind of wonky. July 1st is a Friday. It's a holiday. The arena would be available, but of course, because people are
It's
going to have
Canada Day.
events and things like that, we don't want to schedule any games and put anyone at a disadvantage or kind of have to figure things out. So because of that, we're going to be not scheduling any games on Canada Day, so
Mm-hmm.
nothing to worry about there. July 15th, there's a tournament that is apparently going on, so we anticipate a lot of individuals will be participating in that. So we will also schedule no games on that night, so no one will miss anything because of that. We intend to have the final week of the regular season, so week 8, on August 26th, so before Labor Day. And then the playoffs will be on 2 nights. Usually it's 4 teams, so we'll figure out exactly what the format is, but I imagine it'll be everyone, or we'll figure it out depending on how
Yeah,
many teams we
yeah.
have. But playoffs, 2 nights of playoffs, and there'll probably be double headers and things like that to get us through and end on September 9th. And then winter season will come after that.
Is there a break between this season and the winter season?
Yeah, probably similar. There'll be like a 1 week break apparently, or
Okay.
we're thinking of, but I mean that's yet to be hashed out.
Yeah, and I
Let's
guess
focus
we
on the season
haven't
at hand.
really, right. I guess we haven't really decided or yet fixed how many GM pairings, or sorry, yeah, how many GM pairings there are going to be. Is it a two, a solo, a trio?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is interested in GMing, then maybe message us on socials. If you know Omar Asawi, he's the guy who really organizes that. So get in touch with him, message us on socials, and we'll get you in touch with him or get him in touch with you, and we'll figure out exactly how we want to figure that out.
Yeah, just like on the side, I've heard a lot of guys messaging me saying they were asking about the summer season and they actually want to join. They haven't been in the league for a while, so if those brothers actually join, we'll see a lot of returning faces from you know from seasons from a long time ago. So it'll be nice to see some of the older brothers coming back, and also, of course, all the new ones as well. So it'd be nice to get everybody in.
Yeah, for sure. The summer season is fun just because the weather's nice and you don't have to deal with
Yeah.
the cold and the snow and the rain and all that stuff. A lot of guys who regularly play also, to your point, are take
Hmm.
the summer off because they
Yeah.
have family plans and they can't fully commit to a season, and they're ready to go for the fall season. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out after guys haven't had a chance to play a lot over the last couple of years with the pandemic, and we've seen that people are itching to play. So we're looking forward to opening up
Yeah.
registration on Friday, inshallah, and seeing how that all pans out.
I'm wondering if there's been any consideration to having, how we have a pool of goalies. If goalies can show up, we pick from them. I wonder if there could be some kind of a reserve list, whether it's a league-wide reserve pool of players or maybe even team, a couple of spares. Because in summer, people go away on vacation. There's barbecues, there's weddings, there's so many things, right? There's often a lot of people missing. Maybe it would be worth considering if such a reserve pool, situation would be viable.
Yeah, we've talked about it and internally just to trying to figure out, okay, what are our options, and there are a few different things we're looking at right now. None that I can currently disclose because nothing's been finalized.
Sure.
But yeah, that has come up as a topic of discussion. But it really depends on how you're able to manage that really as a
Hmm.
team. Because one thing is it's a goalie. If you have a pool, you can just bring someone in for one game and that's fine. But then, for example, if a player is missing, like you're missing a game, I'm missing a game, and you're in the pool, and they bring you in, that's not really a fair replacement.
Yeah.
And how do you really manage that where you could have a much bigger impact on the game than I would? So there's some complexities there
Yeah,
in order
that's
to be
true.
fair with everyone. So we're trying to figure that out, and yeah, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Almost, it would almost be like having two bonus rounds in the draft, and each team picks two guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. And but then it comes down to, it's like, okay, well, if team A picked me and they never have any absences, then I'm just in the reserve, and I wanted to play a couple games in the
Yeah,
season,
that's
but
true.
I don't end up playing, right?
Yeah, it's
Again,
not an
we've
easy.
never
Yeah, it's
done
not
it
an easy
before,
fix.
so we need to figure out exactly the logistics of that, and then also how we track that, and maintain that there's parity in the league and everyone has an equal opportunity
Yeah,
to utilize those players.
makes sense. All right, sir. We said we were gonna keep this within 30 minutes. We're at 31 minutes here, which is great. Our viewership is a little low today. Apparently, there's something else going on TV that's more important than coming and watching our Iceland podcast. I don't know. It is what it
This
is.
is A+ production, so I don't know why wouldn't they come here. They're probably wallowing in their sorrows, so somewhere.
Yeah, but good thing is this show is live, but it also gets recorded, so you can watch and listen to it after. So please do so. Watch it over and over again if you need to. It's all good. But inshallah, we will see everyone on Friday. I can't wait. I've missed a lot of the brothers, so it'll be nice to see everyone else there. Till then, Imad, thank you so much.
Thank you, Arif. It's been great. Let's keep them all short like this.
Inshallah. All right, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Awesome.